Do. Hello, people of the podcast world and YouTube and beyond who aren't watching the live stream. People watching the rebroadcast. Hey, just getting my hair did. My Corona hair, just growing it out like a hippie. Happy birthday to me. Just turned 40. That's exciting. Yeah, how y'all doing? Hey, what up? Whoever joined, how's it going? Good to see you. Whoever you may be. I don't have like a little notification yet. I hope it's some Ray, but I actually don't know who it is. I'd be happy with any of you. I'm just happy it's you. Oh my God, it's Amy. Happy birthday. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. How are you? How's it going? Anything exciting? Dude, Amy, I'm 40. I'm freaking 40 years old. Look, I have gray in my hair. What happened? What the hell happened to us? We used to be in our 20s. We used to be teenagers. 20s was crazy. It was a good time, though. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I partied hard. I'm glad I got that out of the way. Just uber busy, but good. Oh, glad to hear it. How's your back feeling? How's your neck feeling? How's your situation? Are you better? Did you get all stretched out? Did you get it worked out? Take it easy. You stop picking up Donovan and tell Kane to leave you alone. Get rid of the stress, like de-stress, as opposed to distress. That's what they say in like health. Yeah, WTF, 40 WTF. Oh, that's awesome. I won't repeat that. In case people are... Okay, sorry. Yeah, well, yeah, they work. Actually, they work really, really well. Screw it, I'll go ahead and say it. Indica edibles with some CBD in them will do wonders if you're dealing with pain. You can manage your pain with edible cannabis as well as you can with opiates, possibly even better. And actually, I can't tell you this one. I'll tell you this one, but this is like, I'm not a doctor. Don't recommend it. You should follow the doses of whatever. If you take 400 milligrams of ibuprofen and 400 milligrams of Tylenol, it will deal with your pain most likely. Talk to your doctor before doing something like that. First time that, and it's legit working. It really is. It's good stuff, man. The plant medicine does wonderful. Yeah, no, it really does. Dude, Amy, if you ever want to invest in Jacob's Creamy Cream, wow. It's a transdermal cannabis cream that smells wonderful. It's absolutely beautiful and delicious and everything. It'll knock out nerve pain. I'm not making that up. I legit am not making it up. I gotta text my wife. Also, leave her with me. We have to coordinate, baby. Taking too much ibuprofen and Tylenol, I can't do that anymore. Okay, I need it. Yeah, well, I need to make it, and it ain't cheap. I mean, really, it would cost it. It would be an expensive enterprise. It's actually something to where it would need to be a legit business that I actually start. Like, it would cost $50,000 probably just to get started. I mean, I could probably I could figure out how to do it for $1,000. Which is basically, it's just hashing out a bunch of indica, like a ton of it, and then CBD, like big sticky plants, and you basically juice all of the goo out of it, and then mix it with a bunch of herbs and lotion and that kind of crap. It's pretty great stuff, though. Man, and it gets you high. We're talking about hand cream getting you high. And yeah, don't take too much ibuprofen and Tylenol. It's really hard on your kidneys. So yeah, cannabis is way better. Now, people are like, oh my God, I want to take CBD for absolutely everything. CBD is so great. Hey, Pat Nice, welcome to the jungle. Too much CBD is hard on your kidneys too. Steroids are hard on your kidneys. Protein's hard on your kidneys. Everything's hard on the kidneys. Those poor kidneys. But yeah, no, smoke up a fatty, yo. But don't go crazy with it. Wait until you're retired and then smoke weed all the time like your life depends on it, because that's what retirement should be. According to one of my members, Birgit, who is one of the smartest people I ever met and also a very salty woman, Birgit had a rule for being rich. She's a rich lady, retired, independently wealthy, put it that way. Her rule for being rich was you need 2 of 3 qualities in order to be rich. Those 3 qualities are smart, organized, work really, really hard. Now, if you can combine any of these 2, you can be rich and successful. So let's just say you're stupid. Well, if you work really, really hard and you're organized, boom, you can make a lot of money. How many rich, stupid people do you know? I bet a lot, Amy. How many of them just work their asses off and they're like, oh, I don't care, I'll just be on the phones all day. And they do that and make a lot of money. Kidneys are overworked and underpaid. Whereas, likewise, how many smart people do you know that aren't organized but can also work really hard? Well, actually not many, because smart people are lazy. Lazy smart people. Bree made it. Woo, what up, Bree? Jessica might leave the baby with me. We might have Cordy B in the CoronaCafe. And we might have Jessica drop by, but I doubt it, because she's going to go to the store and get some stuff for a barbecue. So, Bree, we're talking about weed for pain medication or pain management, which is awesome. Like, so here's one of the things about cannabis. We'll talk about cannabis before we get into the show and habits and the election shenanigans. Man, if you think you've seen fake news before, wait for the next 2 months. Ooh. Oh yeah, but weed for pain management. Dude, weed for pain management is freaking amazing. The problem with cannabis is it's super addictive. Like, it's super, there's no physical... Shut up, idiots. It's totally... Jesse is awesome. So, for the people who are listening to the podcast or just watching on YouTube, I apologize that you can't see the comments, and I apologize that this might be a little over the place. It's new for me too, okay? Please, just feel it out for a second. And if you're listening, by the way, guys, you should listen to the podcast, the audio versions of this. They're great. Like, I don't mean to toot my own horn. It's lit. It's really good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Because, like, I don't know, it's interesting because my voice naturally goes, which, if you can make your voice go up and down and have a wide range when you communicate with people, they find it really interesting. Oh my God, Amy, I had a realization about how you are my other half. Jessica's my soulmate. You're my, like, womb mate. It's just like, oh my, I had an Amy Pellegrini moment, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my brain. Oh my God, I can't believe this is my brain. We have the best brains. We're just literally the best. They're great. Some people say they're the greatest, bestest. Anyways, weed's ridiculously addictive. I think something like 90% of people who take cannabis abuse it. And then 10 use it as, like, medicine. When I was like, oh my God, womb mate. Yeah, so when I was selling, well, I guess you could say, when I worked at a medical dispensary, like, largely the people that we had come in all the time, people were in car accidents, PTSD, all day long. Because people don't want to take freaking opiates. Like, after a while, opiates don't work, you don't poop, and you feel like ass. Like, I hate taking pills. I don't like it at all. Because I always feel like a lag the next day, and I don't like the strain on the body. Like, I can actually feel like my body's getting strained. If I eat 200 milligrams of, like, a brownie or something, I feel great. I feel awesome. It's like, oh, man, are we going to play a video game? I'm too high to play a video game. I want to watch a movie or listen to a podcast. Oh, my God. And then I have fun, and I'm like, yay, this is so great. I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. Whoever does that on heroin, nobody. They just stand there and they kind of rock back in place while getting drunk in front of Freak Bree's house. Or a friend's business establishments where they can't drink or use heroin, even though they have a license for drinking and not heroin. I mean, you could just go outside and use heroin, go Seattle. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, for PTSD. Man, some of these vets are really screwed up. Let's go ahead and do something to take the edge off. Actually, like, the best thing for PTSD... Again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. You should talk to your health professionals about before taking any sort of medications. My liability thing. Molly. Take some MDMA. Take some ecstasy. Or mushrooms. Take some mushrooms. I took like 2 milligrams. LMAO just kills the pain. Yeah, no, that would definitely just kill the pain. Like, I used to take 5 in order to just feel anything. Our boss would do dabs in the shed. If you know what dabs are. Weed makes you ridiculously frightened. It does. It makes a lot of people ridiculously frightened and paranoid. It also depends on, like, let's say Bree, if you were my patient, what I would do is I'd be like, hey, Bree, you need an Amy dose. And what you're going to do is take an Amy dose for, like, 2 weeks, okay? You're just going to slowly build up like 1 milligram, 2 milligrams into your system to where your body gets used to it, and then we can up your dosage and you won't freak out so bad. And it works. It absolutely does. We would definitely keep you away from the sativas. We would give you some indica couches mixed with a CBD strain. Like Charlotte's Web. We'll do a 50-50 split. And you'll love it. You'll love it. It'll be the best ever. You'll absolutely love it. Let's talk about habits. Don't smoke weed every day. There's your lesson. Let's go ahead and talk about some stuff. Let's just talk about the fake news. So there is the Atlantic article, which I propose is fake news. Because I think anything that we hear from anonymous sources between now and Election Day is going to be fake. Now, here's the thing. The damage has been done because most people will just look at the article and be like, hey, let's go ahead and run with the article or the headline. Like, they don't even actually read the article. Which, to be quite honest, I can barely read an Atlantic article. Like, they're so long and dumb. Okay? Oh my God, Ray's in the house. I would eat edibles while doing radiation therapy and just kept doing it for my mental health, not an everyday thing, just as needed. That's awesome. Good job. I used to get freaking blasted every day as needed, which was a lot of fun. But wait until you're retired. According to Bargett, I discovered the magic of smoking weed all the time too early. Wait until you're older. And you made all your money and gone on your adventures. Otherwise, you're not going to go on your adventures and make all your money. You'll just be stoned all the time and play video games, which I did. I was pretty good at League of Legends. The only time you could handle THC was when you were getting chemo. Yeah, it's a powerful molecule. Trust me, Brie. I bet we can get you stoned. Oh, the Atlantic article. Oh, yeah. No, seriously. Hey, journalist out there. Hey. I would really appreciate it if you could get me an article that's 4 paragraphs. I don't want any more than that. I don't want your bullshit backstory. I just want the freaking information. I just want the bullets. Give it to me, and I want to move on to the next thing. Twitter has ruined me and everybody else. Thanks to the stupid phone, thank you, Apple, we have the attention span of minnows. So don't waste my damn time with your stupid article showing how many big words you can use because you have like an English degree or something like that, and you went to a college where you're just like, I don't know, trying to prove how smart you are by using multisyllabic words. Fuck it. Suck it. And I apologize again for swearing. I'm really working on that. Apparently, I'm just going to have an explicit podcast, but whatever. We're going to still try to dial it in. We're going to dial it in. Oh, yeah, fake news Joe Biden. Ugh, I hate that guy. Here's one for you. Here's just a saying. I love America more than I hate Donald Trump. Just throwing that out there for you guys. So, the fake news around the Atlantic article. I don't believe it. Jacob, read on. Also, Hitchens wrote for the Atlantic. Yeah, Hitchens wrote for the Atlantic 10 years ago. And seriously, I don't want anybody to waste my fucking time when I'm reading something. And the vast majority of time, I look at articles, I look at them, and I'm just like, man, this is just a bunch of BS. Get the hell out of here. If you don't get to your point, if you can't get to the point in 4 paragraphs, and I'm talking about just at least it's just this long setup of like people who really wish they were novelists, but they ended up being a journalist at some publication that doesn't even have an editor anymore. I don't have the time for it. I really don't. I'm sorry journalism's dying, but I don't care. I really don't, and I'm not sorry. It deserves to die. Journalism dies in darkness. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. Considering all these freaking companies are owned by a bunch of billionaire propagandists, what do I care? Anyways, where was I going with any of this? Oh, so fake news Joe Biden. The Atlantic article. The Atlantic article was fake. If it's a bunch of anonymous sources, if it's about Donald Trump, anonymous sources, blah, 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 it's a whole bunch of people who have no credibility, who don't like them. Because Malcolm Nance came out, and we don't even need to go into Malcolm Nance right now. You can Google him if you really want to, but there's that kind of stuff. There's the words that were used. It was just kind of like the setup of it, and it lacked a bunch of Trumpyism. Like, Trump can be a troll and a jerk, but he's not just a jerk. Like, if he's a jerk, there's usually a joke with it. Like, there's something. Whereas opposed to what he said was just mean. And I don't see Trump just dumping on the troops. He can be terrible, don't get me wrong, but I just don't buy it for a second. Here's the point. The Republicans are going to do it too. We're going to start seeing some really nasty stories come out about Joe Biden, which could totally be, it's like an anonymous source that Joe Biden raped them when they were 4. You're going to hear Joe Biden, the child molester, the story, and it's going to be like the most breaking, dirtiest news coming out of the left and the right for the whole rest of the election. And it's terrible. You know why? Because it's not going to stop at the end of the election. It's going to be like a new thing that they do. So with it started with, I want to say it was Abu Ghraib when the media just completely lost its mind. So the Iraq War when the New York Times was like, oh my God, Bush lied to us. Okay, and so they got really nasty and it's like, Bush is a Nazi, Bush is a Nazi. And then that whole thing got caught up like going with Media Matters. And then what was next is like, oh, it goes into the election cycle, and it's like, oh, they're going to tear Barack Obama apart because it's created a new thing. No, they just sat there and tore Sarah Palin apart for a long time. And then they went after, like, I don't know, it was just like, oh, we're going to go after Mitt Romney and blah, 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 blah. So they're always just going to go after the Republicans, no matter what. Now it's just going to be like they're going to make up fake news about the Republicans. And now the Republicans are like, oh, we're just going to make up fake news about the liberals, too. And so now we have, like, competing intelligence agencies, competing media companies, competing billionaires, competing foreign interests, now just dumping fake information into our system. And we're going to have to navigate these waters in the future. So my recommendation for navigating it is just turn it off. Just ignore it. Show up on election day and don't pay attention the rest of the time. Or get involved in your local politics. Get involved in City Hall or your mayoral elections. Shit. Any of us could get elected. I'm not sure if you've been looking at these people who are running everything. The bar is this low. It is this low. And this pen is this good. Hey, everybody, you can't see it if you're listening to the audio, but Tool pens, Tool, it's not too late, Tool, T, almost umlaut, it's like a U with a line, L, pens are legit, gel pens. If you guys aren't using gel pens, you're missing out on gel pens. I wonder if my beautiful wife texted me. No, it was my brother-in-law. Hey, beautiful brother-in-law. If my sister is watching this, say, hey, beautiful Stu. Love you. Thanks for watching out for them hurricanes. Hitch would always get to the point. He would be very sad with the state of affairs. Man, Hitchens would be so sad he'd die again. Unnamed sources, ton has dropped since the Atlantic store broke. Oh, yeah, no, dude. Well, number one, there's no defense against it. And Donald Trump can't help himself. He's incapable of helping himself. I am so angry with the fact that Donald Trump was the best that we had in order to push against the deep state. I also think it's really funny. And I do think he actually loves America. But, man, talk about having an imperfect tool for the job that'll get the job done. It's like, well, you know what? We need to put this nail in a wall. Oh, okay. Well, it's just like basically we could have like Paul Ryan come in and do it, and it's like a wet noodle trying to nail with that. Now, it's a bad metaphor because Paul Ryan's not a wet noodle; he's a douchebag. But it's like, oh, we have this wet noodle. It's like, no. Well, the only hammer we got is a sledgehammer. Fuck it, boom, and then okay, great. So now we got the guy now we just have a sledgehammer walking around our house, just like slamming into freaking everything. And it's like, oh no, a Chinaman's trying to break into here. Oh, the sledgehammer's got it. Don't worry. Don't worry about calling the cops. We'll send old Sledgy after him with a funny mop on top. Do not bring tool pens on a plane. Dude, I totally will. It's gonna be my John Wick pen. Man, have you guys seen tactical pens, by the way? Holy shit. They're crazy. I should sell those on my internet site. Tactical pens, by the way, are like pens that you could actually use as a knife and carry with you everywhere. Because people are like, oh, it's just a pen. Anyways, yeah. So expect to see a lot of fake news before the election. Trump ends spending on critical race theory. That's great. So he's just like, hey, feds, no longer subsidizing on this. Brian has one. I bet Brian has one. And it's got like a 5.56 shell in it. And he uses it to hunt badgers when the world falls apart. I love your husband. Where is I going with this? I'm not going to make fun of Brian. I want to make fun of Brian. I love Brian. I want to make fun of Brian right now, but I can't because I can't do it on audio. But Amy, if you and I want to talk later, and we're like, oh my God, do you know Brian? Oh my God. Because really, I'm kind of catty, believe it or not. Critical race theory. So I'm not sure if you know what critical race theory is. It's a weapon of mass destruction for a society. Like any of this, there is an argument for reparations. There is an argument for white privilege, and we've talked about this before. If you want to bring in white privilege, I want to bring in women privilege. I want to bring in pretty privilege. I want to bring in black privilege, okay? There ain't no freaking grants and no subsidies that Jacob can get that a black woman, that Jacob could get that a black woman, no, that Jacob couldn't get that a black woman would get? I don't know exactly how to say that. A gay black woman? Yeah, no, you take the free money. Please, take all the free money. I don't get the free money, okay? But where was I going with any of this money? Critical race theory. Oh, yeah, no, here's the thing. It puts everybody against each other. It's basically like, I'm a bigger victim. No, I'm a bigger victim. No, I'm a bigger victim. No, I'm a bigger victim. Okay, look, I'm part Native, okay? I'm part Apache or Navajo. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out eventually, maybe. I don't know, whatever. But I got enough of a chunk of it, okay? My mom grew up speaking Spanish Navajo. I don't know about the Navajo part. Here's the point. Here's the freaking point. People are like, oh yeah, this is blah, 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 and reparations. You know what? Get off my land, black people. Go back to Africa, which is really screwed up because they were brought here against their own will. And there's the ADOS thing. Actually, the black stuff's really, really interesting. There's like a whole lot of fighting in the black community between the ADOS crowd and then the, I guess you could say the migrants. So, like Kamala Harris, for example, her grandmother was a slave owner. Oh my God. And she's from Jamaica, okay? She was not an African descendant of slaves. That's what ADOS stands for, okay? The ADOS crowd hates African immigrants, and African immigrants hate the ADOS crowd. It's crazy. I wouldn't say it's crazy, but my point is that critical race theory and intersectionality just puts everybody against each other. It's basically like we all have these weapons pointed at each other, and then we can just keep on pointing weapons out based off of victim status. It's like, oh, well, guess what? You're not an ADOS. Well, guess what? You weren't like, I'm first generation survivor of the Rwandan genocide, and I got it together. Oh, really? Well, maybe you didn't deal with blah, 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 blah. And then it's just, see what I mean? It's nasty. So Daddy Trump said, no more spending money on this at the federal level, which I said, way to go, Daddy. You cut him off. And then Joe Biden and Crapola are going to come in and be like, hey, guess what? We're going to go ahead and do this because, oh, my God. I don't think they sound like that, to be quite honest, though. But whatever. I'm just going to move on. Because I have a lot of coffee in my system. It's my birthday, and that's a really touchy subject. I'm not sure I should send this one to Apple. I'm going to send it to Apple anyways. I'm going to send it to Apple and let the cards fall where they may. But I'm actually going to do yesterday's episode because that was way less edgy. Apparently, you can't talk about race in America today. If you're whitish, male-ish. Unless you're like, oh my God, I have such white guilt. Let's burn down black neighborhoods. I can't believe that stuff. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe, like, the white kids burning down black neighborhoods to support Black Lives Matter. That just fucking blows my mind. That is really... I'd actually say that's the most incredible thing out of 2020. So, what else? We may have... well, actually, let's just go back. Yeah, I actually don't have that much, to be quite honest. There's the stuff about the Israel recognizing the newest Muslim nation in Kosovo, or surrounded by it. In Serbia, Kosovo. And the Serbians and the Kosovoans are actually talking to each other. Thank you, Rachel. Please talk about... Ray's going to talk about Ray stuff for me. We'll do a podcast, and then she can say whatever it is she says, and I'll just be like, you should listen to her. She's a person of color. White, not silence is violent. I don't know. It's so convoluted. I don't know if my silence is violence. I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking to show my support. What am I supposed to do? I'm such a confused white person-ish. It sucks. I wouldn't say it sucks. It's actually interesting being mixed race because I'm like, But I'm not going to lie on that identity. I'll just go with being a white guy. Although I say I'm Antonio Banderas. But I'm not. I'm totally not. Did you know that guy's short? Anyways, where was I going? Fake news, Kosovo. Them hammering things out after 20 years is a great, great, great thing. I can't tell you exactly what happened because what I saw is Grinnell just took them down. Because, the press corps is talking about, they're normalizing trade. And he's like, hey, look, this is a bigger deal. For those of you who don't know about the Serbian Kosovoan genocide, dogs going crazy. Some Christian fanatics butchered and committed a genocide against a bunch of Muslims. That's what happened 20 years ago plus. And then I want to say Clinton bombed them. I was a bit young at the time. Slobodan Milosevic was the leader on the Kosovoan side. Yeah, it's not something I remember too well. I mean, I was a teenager when it happened. And it was terrible. I mean, it was a fucking genocide. And then he eventually got caught and then committed suicide. I don't remember. I think he had a heart attack after a sentence, and then one of the generals was one of the generals took cyanide in right after he was convicted. He just committed suicide. He's I'm gonna go now, and then they tried saving his life. It was crazy. Bree thinks Ray's awesome. Bree thinks somebody should start the argument where it starts. Words to live by. Start the argument where it starts. Okay, so all this critical race theory, all this intersectionality shit, it came from Michel Foucault, who was somebody who is probably trans, we would say today. To give you an idea of how much of an impact Michel Foucault has, I want to say he is the most cited source in all academic papers, literally. More than Einstein, more than, Jung or freaking Nietzsche, or Marcus Aurelius. I don't know who people quote in college anymore. The number one most cited source, okay? And he's when you hear all this power shit and tearing down the system and how it's basically, he's a nihilist. Just burn it all down so we can create a new system, and it's the only way we can have the system, and we need to get rid of the system, and everything's about power, and it's everybody's just stepping on each other's toes and using their power to overpower and suppress and dominate people because of their power. He was mentally ill, okay? So legit, he tried committing suicide. He was institutionalized. If you're institutionalized, try committing suicide, transgender, you might have some issues, one or two, okay? So for us to build all of gender studies, grievance studies off of the writings of a crazy person shows you why everything's so crazy with these people. I mean, if you look at critical race theory, if you look at intersectionality, if you look at how, how there's just this weird standard, an example would be, all the white privilege stuff. Oh, it's not privilege because racism equals privilege plus power. What kind of fucking loopholes do you need to jump through? What sort of stupid logic is that to where racism isn't racism? Racism is this new definition of racism. Well, you just define systemic racism. Well, everything's systemic racism. Well, yeah, no, but what? Yeah, all of this is based off of the writings of a madman, and we're tearing down Western civilization because of it. That's where it started. Actually, I take that back. It started when Eve ate the fucking apple, Brie. Thanks a lot. You know what you are? You're this. Just kidding. I'm done. For those of you in the audio, I just pointed to my ribs. Let me see. Clinton's only strength was foreign policy, only one. I despise that guy. I don't know, even that. His foreign policy sold us out in NAFTA. And that's actually kind of like Donald Trump, to be quite honest. His foreign policy is awesome. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And man, apparently I don't give an F what I say. It's just swearing like crazy. I promise I'll stop someday. Where did I lost my thingy. I lost this thingy. Anyways, and Amy is also awesome. I think Amy might have left. She had to go. We love you, Amy. We love you, if you're listening to the rebroadcast. Writings of a Madman gave us where we are. I read some Foucault, and then I was like, what? I kind of get it. I got sucked into a cult that was based off of some of his works. And it was kind of like this, like, they used a lot of Heidegger, so a lot of it would be like, there is no experiencing reality without language, and language is also a prison that keeps you imprisoned with your language, and everything is oppressive, and you're such a victim, and blah, 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 blah. It tore my brain freaking apart. It made me crazy. And it had some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but nonetheless, it's just like, it's an ideology that just can't help but eat at your mental health. Which I don't think is a good thing. Let me see. I do have some COVID news, which is we may be close to herd immunity with COVID. What? T-cell immunity and strong T-cell responses bode well for long-term immunity, according to a number of peer-reviewed studies. It looks like 20 to 30% antibodies, or 20 to 30% of the population having the antibodies would give us a herd immunity. According to a really smart lady in Canada that I follow. Try reading Fountainhead as a female? I bet. Jesus. I can't read Ayn Rand or Anne Rand. I'm just going to call her Anne Rand. Anne Rand. Like I read Atlas Shrugged. There's another one of those books. It's like an Atlantic article. It's like, get to the freaking point. My God. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I couldn't. It's so bad. On the Fountainhead, like some boring stuff. I'm not an Ayn Rand fan, by the way. I can't think of the guy who... There's a certain part of the Ayn Randian stuff that I actually do like. There's a part of me that just, like, the CoronaCast, the Corona Kittens, what we're doing is Atlas Shruggedian, which is stay out of the political fight that's coming, okay? The left and the right want to kill each other in the streets. Don't be a part of that. Screw them. They can suck it. They're both morons anyways. And I'm serious. Like, when I see these people who are, like, taking up arms because 30 people have died in riots, don't get me wrong. I don't like the riots. I'm not really happy about what's going on. I'm actually really unhappy about it. But I don't think it's worth a civil war. So if these people want to have a civil war, whatever. Okay, cool. Let's just go build our utopian society somewhere else. And they can suck it. And while they're busy, like, shooting each other and just causing, like, generational trauma, we'll go out there and make all the Benjis. Oh, my goodness. Is that a cute puppy? Hi, Phoebe. Is my lovely wife out there? No, but my cute dog is. I gotta say hi to Phoebe, otherwise she's gonna go crazy. Hey, honey, how are you? Pretty cute? What up? I can handle Kinsley Amos, and that's a total order. Miranda's around Kinsley. I can't think of it. Is that like the sex therapist guy? I get it chilling here? Oh, you're just leaving. Okay, cool. Go away. Is that... I'm going to Google who that... this is an interesting thing about having the computer right here. No, I hit the wrong button. Kinsley Amos. Never mind. That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of that weird sex therapist who was like, oh man, do you know how many orgasms babies can have? And you're like, wait a second here. How do you know, you evil, evil, evil bastard? I hate academia so much because of that kind of crap. Oh my God. I don't remember what university it is. It's like, I want to say it's somewhere in Massachusetts. They kicked out a whole bunch of kids for not following social distancing guidelines for the semester. And they're not giving them refunds. $35,000 a semester. These kids are not going to get a refund on. I freaking hate universities. I can't wait for... That's one thing that I'm excited about, like everybody going at each other, is the death of education as it stands today. Because it's just trash. It's such garbage. We could do such a better job. We should work on the German model. It'd be significantly better for our society. But whatever. I'm not king of the universe. Where was that going with any of this, guys? We're talking about Kinsley Rand. Oh, Jesus God. Trying to read an Ayn Rand book is terrible. Like, I got into economics a long time ago. This was like, it was more than 10 years ago. Where I was like, okay, I'm going to check out Keynesian economics, which is basically like, well, you can just keep printing money into infinity, and then it doesn't worry about creating all of this debt, because we're going to be shouldering, like, our children with tons and tons of debt, but the dollar will be worthless, or the currency will be worthless in comparison, but our earnings will be so high that we'll be making more worthless dollars. It's great. Yeah, that's how I'd sum up Keynesian economics. Keynesian. And then there was the Alucard school. Just kidding. The Milton Friedman school, which is basically like, libertarianism is the greatest thing ever. We should have free markets, blah, 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 blah. Pinochet. Let's try our experiments in South America. And then Kissinger was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go ahead and destroy these nations, do a bunch of economic experiments, and then take all their resources. That was cool. Thanks, Milton Friedman. Which is actually like, I don't know, if you look at what the Treasury's stocked with in the Chicago School of Economics, it's a cancer. This type of predatory capitalism is the quarter capitalism that I bitch about all the time. And then you have the Austrian economics, which is basically like, I don't know, I tried reading, it wasn't Wealth of the Nations, there's Adam Smith's Wealth of the Nations, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Who is the Austrian economist? Hayek? I want to say it was Hayek. I read one of his books, and I understood like a quarter of it, maybe, on a really good day. And it was basically like human behavior. It's like people are going to do whatever people are going to do. That's why you're like the black market will always win, is an example. And then recently I found a new guy, I want to say Scottish or British. He's definitely from the UK. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's really big into the political economy, which I am a big, big, big fan of, okay? I think Apple and Chevron and all these giant, titanic Monsanto, these massive companies, should be giving dividends to the people who subsidize their work or their earnings. I had a talk with Mark about the cost of universities because his dad was a dean of students of Rutgers. Yeah, what did Mark have to say about that? And how's Mark doing? What are you two up to? Is he still in the doghouse? Also, is there anything you guys want to talk about? Excuse me, I ran out of topics faster than I was planning on. Because I wasn't able to get ready for my show like I normally do. Let me see, I could see what people are talking about on Twitter. Oh yeah, that was nice. There was some more protests and riots. No, I don't want, no, Twitter, I don't. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I don't care about your new features. I don't. Go away. Okay, let's go to search. So if you're ever wondering, like, what's going on in the Twitterverse, let's go to search on the right if you're using your computer. Man, Twitter works so much better. Large crowds marched through Rochester. Oh, yeah, that was Rochester. So, yeah, large crowds marched through Rochester and attack a bunch of restaurants. So they start ripping these restaurants apart. Like, all the patrons just start running away in fear. Good job, BLM. And I bet it was mixed race. So Rachel owes $68,000 on a degree you don't even effing use. Man, that sucks. I'm sorry, Rachel. What's your degree in? Maybe we can help you use it. Maybe we can help you pay it. So here's one for you. I don't know what you're paying. Throw an extra $100 a month at it. And that'll do some serious damage. Actually, what you could do is try taking Ben Kinney's interest calculator and play around with those numbers. See how much, like, if you were to attack it like a little bit more each month, how much it takes to really reduce your payments over the long term. Because I've seen things where it's like, you know, people who wound up getting an $80,000 student loan who've been paying on it for 10 years, but they've only been paying the minimum payments, end up owing like $120,000. He brought up how expensive everything is to maintain and how big the campus is, and yeah, the doghouse will remain strong. It's gilded at this point. Yeah, no, I understand. Don't get me wrong. That's like, the overhead of running a university is extraordinary. Absolutely. They have to have billion-dollar endowments. Okay? And look, I'm a big believer in the Walmart model. Walmart's headquarters is a converted warehouse. I think colleges and schools could do the same thing. You know what you need in order for kids to learn? A box with tables and books in it. Psychology, I would have to get a PhD in order to make real money, which I don't want to. No one told me. A bachelor's of science would be useless if it were psych-based. It is. However, I think you could leverage it. So let's just say I'm paying a lot a month, but interest-free right now because of COVID. That's good. Yeah, definitely pay down that principal. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, Bree. I'm sorry, Ray. I was thinking about getting a psychology degree. There was a point in college where I was like, man, this is a scam. And so when I went to school, I was basically just taking credits to learn. I wound up getting like almost 200 credit hours, even though I only have like an associate's in like integrated studies. Integrated studies is even less than liberal arts. Like the bottom of the bottom. But whatever. Because I was just going there to learn. Because I was like, hey, I'll just learn. And I just went to a community college because it's way cheaper. If you can go to a community college, Jesus, people do that. There's no reason to go to a freaking university, in my humble opinion. Especially today. Today, definitely not. Where is I going with any of this, Bree? Ray. Brevid. Man, there was a really good nickname we had for Bree, and I don't remember what it was. Whatever. Anyways, oh yeah, so my good friend Rachel, woman of color, banker with a psychology degree, I think we should just go along with the original Goldman Sachs plan of becoming like an investment banker. Okay, hear me out. So it's like, hey, corporate America, corporate banker, mentor, stock market, whatever, I need some mentorship, and I'm a woman of color, and I have all of this experience. You should totally hire me. And they're going to be like, man, she totally checks all the boxes. Hired. And then you're like, but wait. I just want to say that I have a degree in psychology, and I know it's silly and whatever, but I actually understand how people think, and I understand how market works. I'm here for the psychology of the market, and that's your niche. You're welcome, everybody. Because it's basically like your understanding of human beings is going to help you in whatever your industry is. Which I would say in banking would actually be a pretty good one. And then, or sales. So you're basically like, I have a psychology degree, I understand what makes people tick. That's why I would be the best salesperson that you've ever had. You'll pad her resume. Let's make Ray a millionaires. Yeah, actually, I bet Bree's pretty good at padding it. You could also reach out to Jessica. She's really good at it. My friend Brittany is the greatest at it. Like, literally the greatest. If Brittany wanted to, she could be a Bill Gates. Let's see who I pissed off on Twitter. Yeah, I just made some people mad. Whatever. Critical race theory, so 75. Northeastern. Oh, it was Northeastern who kicked out all of those students. Northeastern University dismissed 11 first-year students after they gathered in a hotel room violating the university protocols. They were part of a 36,500 one-semester program, which the university will not refund. So the university just made $400,000 to not teach 11 kids. And that's why I hate universities. Anyways, I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to go get some coffee. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to go watch a baby. Wife needs to go pick up some stuff from the store because Daddy's going to have a really good birthday lunch. It's going to be delicious. You'll love it. You're going to hear all about it. People are going to be like, oh my God, it's so good. Okay, I will talk to you later. I hope you have a corona-free day. Let's get Ray Pepe. Let's get Bree Pepe. Bree, we need to get you a job. I don't know. We need to get me a job. We need to get me paid. We need to get Daddy paid. We all need to go out and get paid. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. For those of you listening on the rebroadcast or on the audio podcasting, check back. I'll have sleep another day. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.